What's up, everyone? This is Zach with Use What You Got. Today I'm joined with Randy from Dulin Cut Trim. He's been nice enough to stop by for a couple videos, and my question for him today is advice on landscaping for homeowners like myself and hopefully you as well. So Randy, you want to take it away?
Sure. So the number one tip that really pops into my head, and most homeowners don't believe you when you say this, but it's the absolute truth. When most people mow their yards, what kind of pattern do they typically do?
Well, I can say for me, it's definitely like a circle-ish. I have a tractor.
Yep.
So I can only turn so much, and I definitely can't do the same as a zero turn, but most of the time it's
But you just kind of go in a circle that gets progressively smaller until the grass is gone. That is an incredibly inefficient way to mow your yard. That's actually probably makes it makes it take so much longer when you mow that way. The much more efficient way to mow a yard, and psychologically it doesn't feel like it, but it absolutely is to stripe, going back and forth. So instead of doing this circle, you're going back and forth like this. The reason for that is lawnmowers can go full speed when they're going straight, right? Right. When you turn, you slow way down. That makes sense. And so when you go like this, you're increasing the amount of time that you're spending at full speed, and then you're not turning as many times. Yeah. Because like if you think about it, it makes sense. You know, you've got like this 1 acre property. Yeah. So when you're first doing these circles, you know, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it matters much one way or the other. Yeah. But as that circle gets smaller, you're actually increasing the amount of turns that you're having to make. Yeah, so like if you are just striping, it might be 50 turnarounds. But as you're doing this circle, then the actual amount of area that's being mowed with each pass is getting smaller. And so it's actually increasing the number of turns that you're making, which is slowing you down, which is making it more difficult. So what you really want to do, like if you have a push mower or something like that, is definitely stripe. It's a lot harder with a tractor. Yeah. So what you have to do is you still have, well, even if you're using a push mower, you still need to do that circle at least twice. With a tractor, you might need to do it 3 or 4 times. And that just gives you enough space to go, make your turn, and then go back the way you came. In keeping with that, what most people assume if they do stripe, and this is honestly ultimately is personal preference, but most people assume that when you stripe a lawn and you want to get those lines where it's like lighter, darker, that you want to do that from the perspective of your front door. And while if that's what you prefer, that's fine, but generally everyone else sees your yard more than you do. And so industry standard for lawn care is actually to do stripes based on where the front of the road in front of your house is. So like in the house that we're in right now, the front door is like here. So but the road is going across like this. So you would want to stripe going this way, as opposed to what most people, including myself, when I first started, would just naturally assume, which is to stripe based on where your front door is. So a lot of people like to edge their lawn, but they may not have a dedicated edger like a commercial business would, and they may not know how to edge a property properly just using a string trimmer, but it's actually very easy. So when you do it, you want to take your trimmer and just flip it upside down. And when you do that, and then lift the motor side up, and that'll give you a edge that you can use with your string trimmer. And then what you might be tempted to do is to walk forward when you do that, but it's really hard to maintain control of your trimmer. And I actually don't like trimming that way because in order to maintain proper control while edging your sidewalk, the power's off, don't worry. But it would hurt. But in order to maintain proper control, you want to have your hand on here, have this hand on the trigger, hold it up by your head, and hold it tight as you walk forward. Or the much easier way to do it, hold it down here, like that, and walk backwards.
It seems much more reasonable height to hold it at.
Yeah, and walking backwards will do a couple of things. I use a battery-powered trimmer, so it does not matter where this is in relation to my head. It's not loud. If you got a gas-powered trimmer, this puts your ear right next to the muffler. It's really loud. But if you held it down here, it's just where it normally is. And then when you walk backwards, it gives you more control because you're actually going against the spin of the head. And so it'll give you more control. Whereas if you're walking forward like this, you're actually going the same direction as the head is spinning. And it's easy for the trimmer to kind of walk away from you. And then the last thing, and maybe everyone knew this except for me, but it's very useful when trimming properties, is to keep in mind clippings always go out to the left. So not just clippings, but any rocks you hit, any branches or tree, twigs or anything that you kick up, it's going to shoot most likely to the left. And so you want to keep that in mind when you're trimming like around windows or things that are easily broken.
Around your car.
Around your car, around other human beings, which hopefully you're not doing that. And that's honestly even more important if you're edging with your string trimmer. Every window I've ever broken, it was from edging with a string trimmer. And so you really want to keep in mind that when you're edging, like right now I'm trimming clippings and rocks, everything's going to, for the most part, is going to go to the left. But when I flip it upside down, now it's going that way. And so what I'll do a lot of times, if I have a customer who they got windows and I just got a bad feeling, is when I'm edging, I might, like let's say if that, like this is where their front door is, I'll edge going backwards on one side so that everything's shooting that way. And then when I get to the back and I'm going to do the other side of the sidewalk, I'll edge walking forward so that the clippings and everything are still going away from the house. And, with your own house, it's just a bummer, but, if I break it, I got to pay for it, so.
All right. Well, thank you. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you enjoyed the video, maybe drop a like or a comment. And, thanks for stopping by.
Not a problem.